Hey everyone, I'm Stephen Ray, and this is your 3-Minute Devo. The Bible passage we're looking at today is Proverbs chapter 3, verses 11 through 12. It reads, "My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves, as a father the son he delights in." All right, now first things first. The book of Proverbs is written mostly by Solomon, the son of Israel's most famous king, David. The proverb is just a short saying that expresses a truth. And the point of knowing these proverbs is to gain wisdom. So what's wisdom? Well, I'll explain that with the famous quote. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting a tomato in a fruit salad. In other words, wisdom is not just about having the right information, it's about having the insight into how that information should be applied. Now, let's get into the meat. The section of Proverbs where we find our passage uses the image of a wise father giving advice to his young son. Our verse says, "My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves, as a father the son he delights in." So what does this proverb mean by the Lord's discipline and the Lord's rebuke? Well, basically what it's saying is that there are going to be times when God allows or even leads us into hard things to teach us certain lessons and help us form a certain type of character. And when that happens, we shouldn't despise it or resent it, because it's an act of love. Quick story. I played defensive tackle in high school, and I remember the summer before my senior year, we were doing off-season workouts. Whenever we would finish, my D-line coach would make me do all this extra stuff, like lifting weights longer and running extra laps. I started to get frustrated because I felt like he was picking on me. So I asked him, "Why are you being so hard on me?" And here's what he said: "Stephen Ray, whenever I stop being hard on you, that's when you need to be worried." You know what? I knew exactly what he meant. What he was saying was that him being hard on me was an act of love, because as my coach, he knew exactly what kind of shape I needed to be in to be prepared for the challenges I would face in the upcoming season. In the same way, God knows exactly what kind of spiritual shape we need to be in to face the upcoming challenges in our lives. God doesn't lead you into hard things because he dislikes you or he's mad at you or you did something wrong. God leads you into hard things because he loves you, he delights in you, and those hard things push you to put the right habits into practice, and that positions you for a life of joy, a life of peace, and a life of purpose rather than a life of regret. Now let's wrap it up. Number one, God's discipline and correction are an indication that he loves us and delights in us. And number two, his discipline and correction can help us form the habits necessary to live the lives we were created for. I hope you enjoyed today's 3-Minute Devo. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your local pastor, or as always, you can leave questions or comments below. Lastly, remember this: God loves you, and I love you too.